Hello there, Wipper here, and welcome back to another GTA 5 mod showcase. And it's been an awful long time since I've uttered those words, hasn't it? Gah. But here we are, and today guys, I'm going to be showing you a rather unique car mod I've found. And this is the Honda City Turbo 2 with Intercooler. Now this car itself isn't what makes this mod special. In fact, what makes it special is one particular customization option that's available for it, which goes in the boot of the car and effectively makes this mod two vehicles in one. Now, since this car is called the Honda City Turbo 2, it does sort of imply that there was an original version of this car, and that there was. And the original version of the car differed in that it didn't have an intercooler, which they make sure to specify here on the door of the newer model, and also it had a slightly different styling. Like this version of the car has flared fenders, as you can see there, and at the front it has an asymmetrical grille with the logo on the left hand side. And I personally really like things to be symmetrical, and this really annoys me because it's offset and it just looks wrong to me. I'd much prefer if the logo is in the center of the car and you had the grille on the left and right hand side. I don't mind having an offset number plate though, and an extra note with these number plates I've got on the car, these don't come with the mod. The only reason I got them is because this is a JDM car, so I decided why not get some Japanese number plates to match, and I'll leave a link to the mod which adds these Japanese number plates into the game in the description below if you want to check it out. But yeah, so personally I do actually prefer the styling of the original Honda City Turbo, especially when the original's painted in black with red pinstriping down the side of the car. I just think that looks amazing in comparison to this newer model. Let me know what you think about that in the comments, and yeah, that's just my personal opinion. But now what I'm going to do is explode the car, and not by blowing it up, that's not what I mean. What I mean is I'm going to open all the doors and windows here using a enhanced vehicle control mod, so we can open and close all the doors, take a look around the car. So this is the 108 horsepower 1.2 litre turbocharged engine, which appears to be extremely well detailed in this mod. I'm really impressed with this. Just look at the detail. You can see all the individual electrical wires there. You can even read that warning label. You can see the battery on the left there. Just overall, a really good job by the mod creator here. Whether he actually made this model from scratch or whether he found it in a different game, I do not know. But it's really well detailed, so yeah, it's got that going for it. But let's go around to the driver's side here. Of course, this being made for the Japanese domestic market, it is a right-hand drive car. Fully manual, of course, with a clutch. Was made in the 80s, so you'd expect that. And in terms of materials used for the interior, it's a budget-oriented car, so you're not going to be finding anything luxurious in here. It's just all plastic, as far as the eye can see, with some carpet on the floor. But one cool thing is the gauge cluster, which appears to be a hybrid between analog and digital, with analog for the tachometer and a digital readout for your speed. Now there is another gauge on the left there, which I'm not entirely sure what it does. Maybe that's like a turbo boost meter or a boost gauge? I don't know. We'll have to check that out later on when we drive the car. Coming around to the boot, not really much space in the back here, but it does have enough room for one crucial extra, which I was talking about earlier. But now let's close all the doors and windows here, and check out some of the customization options. There aren't actually that many options to go through here. There's only a few things you can do with it. But let's start off with the spoiler options, of which there are two. We've got a low-level carbon fibre spoiler here, which personally I'm not really a fan of. But then we've also got a tuner wing, which is just even more ridiculous. That just does not suit the car whatsoever. That just looks insanely stupid, insanely dumb. But since we've only got two options, I'm going to fit it to the car for now. But let's go on to the exhaust options next. We've got three of those. We've got a dual exit exhaust, which I actually quite like. It fits the theme of the car. It's not too outlandish. What are the other two options? We've got a big bore exhaust. Yeah, not so sure about that one. And we've got a race exhaust. Yeah, again, not really liking that one at all. So we'll go for the dual exit exhaust for now. Bonnet options. We've got a glossy carbon fibre hood. I kind of like that, to be honest. A nice carbon hood. And a sticker bomb hood. What stickers have we got on here? Can I see them? We've got a Superman logo, SpongeBob with a middle finger pointing towards him, nuclear danger sign, Best Buy. Interesting. But personally, I'm not really a fan of the whole sticker bomb your car thing, so I'm going to go for the glossy carbon fibre hood for now. But next up, we have, what other options have we got? We've got some seats. That's interesting. I've never seen seat options. We should probably go to the interior view here to see what these seats look like. Oh, I can't really look far enough down. Okay, back to the outside view. So we've got some Recaro seats, the classic bucket seat there. That's really nice to see. I love the colour coordination with those. And what else we've got? Steering wheel options. Definitely going to have to go to first person for this one. Let's have a look at this steering wheel. Very nice. Now we get onto the really interesting part of this mod. Extra 1. So going around to the back of the car now, here you can see what makes this mod so special. It is a Motocompo. And it's a compact scooter which is foldable, so you can fold out the handlebars, which is why it looks so strange in this current configuration. It has 2.4 horsepower, which is not that much power really, but when you consider the size, it's probably enough. And it was specifically made with the intention of it being placed in the back of Honda's city cars, like this one, so you could take it out on the go wherever you happen to be in your car. But the cool thing about this mod is you can actually take out this Motocompo from the Honda City's boot and then drive it around on its own as a standalone vehicle, which is just so cool. But one thing I wanted to mention about when it's stored in this state in the back of the car is that the secondary colour of the vehicle does determine the colour of the Motocompo. So if I jump in the car now and go back to the customization options menu and go to the paint menu here, if I change the secondary colour of the car to a different colour, as you can see here, it changes the colour of the Motocompo. But in addition to changing the colour of the Motocompo, it also changes the colour of the stickers on the side of the car and the front, which is really annoying because I really wanted this Motocompo to be white, but in setting it to be white, I've also changed the colour of the stickers here around the rest of the car to also be white, and it just looks really garish and horrible. I wish there was a way of changing the colour of the Motocompo independently from the rest of the car, but I suppose what I could do now, after I've changed the colour of the Motocompo to white, is change the colour of the rest of the car to black. Yeah, that kind of works. Yeah, I think that looks a lot better now with the black paintwork and the white stickers. So just before we check out the Motocompo in the back, I'm just going to take this Honda City for a quick drive to see how it handles and whether all the gauges work. So let's go into first person view just to verify that to begin with here. So yeah, we've got our speedometer working and the tachometer, and we even change gear at the appropriate RPM, which is nice to see. And the boost gauge seems to just be stuck at 50. I'm pretty sure that's the boost gauge. Yeah, it says turbo above it, so that's definitely the turbo boost gauge. So that doesn't seem to really do anything. And let's check out the handling as well. And I have to say, my initial impression is that it handles extremely well. Let's see how much speed we can take around this corner here. Yeah, it's extremely grippy. Can we take this bridge flat out? Let's see. Oh my god, yeah. It's got so much grip, this car. I don't know what it's based on in the game, because this is an add-on car, so whether it's got custom handling or not, I'm not sure. And having said it's got really good handling, you can see I've ended up in a tree. Can we use the air brake mode to get out of this predicament? Yes, we can. Just ignore that. That never happened. That never happened. I didn't just go barreling down the hill into a tree. Oh dear. Oh dear. So it does handle well, but maybe not that well. You do still have to brake for corners. But there is one more thing I wanted to test out with this car, and that is whether it has proper damage modelling. Whether we've got some good deformation or not, because some car mods, some areas of the car will get deformed and some won't, and others, when you crash the car, it just looks so ridiculous, and it doesn't look realistic whatsoever. So let's drive off this rock. Oh, okay, we've got some damage there. Sustained to the front end of the car. But what the hell has happened there? The colour of the car has changed. And you know what? That kind of looks like a tectonic plate movement or something. Let's get out and have a closer look here. Yeah, it looks like one of the plates has been pushed up and the other one's gone below it. That's exactly what it looks like. A tectonic plate movement has happened on the front end of my car. That looks ridiculous. So the damage modelling for this car, definitely not the best I've seen. Some work is needed in that department. Let's see if we can still drive this thing though. Can I get in the car? Or is it totaled? It won't even let me get in the car, so it's just completely a write-off at this point. I think now is the time to spawn the Motocompo. So here it is, the Motocompo in all its glory. You're probably hoping you go up to the back of the car and then just remove the bike from it, and you'd have like an animation or something to go along with that, but no, you do have to spawn it down as a separate entity, and this is what it looks like when it's all folded out. You've got the handlebars there that come out of the main body of the bike, and also the seat that comes up slightly to raise you up a bit from the ground. But let's get on the bike now and see how little power it actually has. We're on a hill, so we're going to try and go up the hill with this thing, and it should serve as a good demonstration to how much or how little power this bike actually has. So let's get going. And yeah, this is our top speed. We're slower than a snail. It really is down on power. It has a 50cc engine that generates 2.4 horsepower. I think to make things a little bit more fun, I am going to turn around and go down this hill, where we should be able to build up some decent amounts of speed with the help of gravity. Our good old friend here. Yep, we're picking up loads of speed now. Look at this. That looks so cool from the cinematic camera there. Oh, that looks great. Can we get another shot from the side of the road? No, no, I've missed my bridge. Oh no, off-roading in a Motocompo. That is not going to end well. We can't get up the hill to get back on the road. Maybe a bit of a run-up will help. Come on, bike. You can... No, we're just rolling back. Let's try that again, shall we? That was just a disaster. A complete disaster. I wasn't looking where I was going. I was too busy faffing around with the cinematic camera. But look at that. That looks so cool. It just looks so awesome. Anyway, let's actually make it across this bridge this time. And when we get to the bottom of this hill, I'm going to try and attempt to make a right turn. Going to take it really wide, but I have a feeling this bike's handling is not meant for such speeds. And that is true. Oh, we had to make use of the guardrail there to make that turn. But yeah, so downhill is pretty fun. Not the greatest in terms of handling, but it is fun to drive around on. Just avoid any hills at all costs.